I'm emotional right now. Don't want to break down.
Daryl Smith showed up to work at the Pepsi Co plant on 51st Street in back of the yards on Monday morning, just like he had for the last 29 years. But the forklift operator and union steward soon learned he and 78 other workers were being let go.
We shut the plants down, get some garbage bags, get your stuff out, and leave.
PepsiCo announced that their Southwest Side facility is now closed due to what the company calls physical limitations. The more than 60-year building was used for producing and distributing beverages. Employees have described the abrupt decision as a gut-wrenching shock.
It just made it seem like they woke up yesterday like, oh, we're just going to shut down 51st. Like, that's all, because they couldn't answer no questions. They was like, they don't know what's going on.
You think they would be bigger than this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just messed up on the way they did it. I mean, they could have did it way better.
As if the news wasn't bad enough for the employees, they say they were escorted off the property by Chicago police officers. They indicated that this added another layer of distress to an already tough situation.
It was kind of crazy, like, this is how y'all treat like your employees.
All right, welcome back. I'm here to let you know now, we have a new president, but that does not mean that you all are safe. The economy is jacked up in all types of ways. Jobs are at risk. Listen, the same thing that happened with the auto industry, I'm letting you know now, can happen to anyone. Nobody is safe. No one is coming to save you, which is why you need to take precautions in your everyday lives to make sure that you have multiple plans in order that you can sustain the type of lifestyle, whatever you were living, before you end up getting a phone call or a text message saying, hey, we don't need you to come in today. The same thing that happened with the auto industry is happening across the map. And a company as big as Pepsi, you might think to yourself, Pepsi is laying off people? Pepsi? A company with a wide moat that is as stable as PepsiCo? No way. They got a wide moat, right? Which is one of the facets that Warren Buffett lives by with investing. There's no way a company like Pepsi should be laying people off. But listen, we've been in a recessionary environment and economy for the last couple years. I don't know where you've been at, but jobs are at risk, and they've been at risk since COVID. Since COVID. Nothing has changed. So, let's get into it.
A big group of people just thrown out. Your service, nothing.
So about 150 workers will be out of a job come the new year after PepsiCo announced production operations will end at the Cincinnati facility. In a statement, the multi-billion-dollar company says its decision was made to optimize the plant by turning into a scaled warehouse. Brenda Ordonez is live after speaking to laid-off workers who said this really was a shock.
Yeah, Tricia, the worker I spoke to has been working here at the PepsiCo for about 33 years. She says while the abrupt layoff did come as a shock, she did notice some cracks in this facility over the last couple years.
You didn't get to say goodbye. You didn't get to say goodbye to your supervisors, and you didn't get to say goodbye to a lot of people.
After 33 years at PepsiCo's Cincinnati facility, it's not the send-off Anne imagined, just 6 months shy of her retirement.
What infuriates you is they're standing there, and they're just looking at a small group, reading off their paper like it's a prepared speech. But it's not just that 40 people standing there. Every one of those people has anywhere from 2 to 5 people next to them. It's their kids, it's their spouses.
On Monday.
Let me say this before we continue. It don't matter what they read off, okay? It don't matter if they give you a heartfelt speech from the heart. It don't matter if they standing there crying. The results will not make a difference. It's still going to be the same. At the end of the day, you will be out of a job. Listen, I've been a part of corporate. I've been a part of a multi-billion-dollar company. I've been a part of that management for that team, for that company for several years, a decade long. I know how this stuff goes on the inside. It's nothing personal. But when calls get made and they come and trickle down to you, the worker, guess what has to be done? It's going to get done regardless. It don't matter what they wrote up. It don't matter if they printed off a beautiful dissertation for them to give to you. It's not going to matter when you get that news. It's not going to change the fact that you got to find a way to support your family. It's not going to change the fact that you got to go out here tomorrow and start putting in resumes for another job. It's not going to change the fact that you got to update your resume, right? Because you haven't done it in 30 years. It's not going to change any of that. You're not going to feel better. You're still going to wake up tomorrow and feel horrible about the fact that you no longer have a job.
You're fired!
None of that stuff changes. I've been a part on every end of it. I've seen people come and go. I've seen jobs come and go. Home Depot, I still remember to this day when the district manager came in and told the entire HR staff, hey, we don't need y'all no more. We're getting rid of HR, not just in this store, across the district. We are getting rid of every store level HR rep that we have. There is going to be one HR district-wide for the entire district across the country. We are no longer having HR in every store at the store level anymore. Your job is done. Goodbye, see you later. And I still remember Diane sitting there in the office crying, boo-hoo tears, because the life that she had come to know, the company that she was loyal to for 30 plus years, was telling her goodbye, giving her the boot, showing her the way out. You go ahead, get your cries out, get your tears out, get your Kleenex, and after you're done, make sure that you get all that shit out your desk, and we're going to replace you in this office with a manager. I've seen it on both ends. There's nothing to laugh about, but it's very real and very serious. It happens to the best of us. I've been on the other end as an associate and been let go. I remember I was let go on my birthday. And they didn't let me go to my face. They called me at home. I got a call from my supervisor and my manager. Both of them are on the line, and they're saying, hey, we got to make some cuts. You the lowest man on the totem pole. We got to let you go. Yeah, we know you've been here 4 or 5 years. However, we making some cuts. And unfortunately, your job is good. And listen, I didn't have any time to prepare. I didn't have any time to go and mull things over or prepare myself. No, it just happened. These are the things that you could possibly face in the industry. I don't care if you have a union or not. People think that because you have a union, oh, I'm safe. My job is safe. My job is secure. I got a union. We ain't getting fired. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Monday, Anne, along with a handful of her coworkers, were notified the plant would be discontinuing production operations, leaving her and 135 others without a job.
They have boxes already lined up in the hallway for you to come down the hallway, take a box, go in and clean out your locker, and go. You'll be paid for till December 28th, and your medical will be covered till December 28th, and then that's it.
In a statement, Pepsi Co confirmed production operations will completely shut down on December 28th, but the facility will continue operating a scaled warehouse, noting the decision was made to optimize its manufacturing network.
It's been slow for probably almost 2 years. This was the worst summer we ever had, as long as I've been there. Usually we're working all kinds of overtime during the summer, and this summer there were days where they didn't have enough to run the whole day, both shifts.
A statement from Pepsi Co said in part, quote, supporting our employees during this transition remains our top priority, and we are committed to continuing to serve the Cincinnati community.
It is very shocking and numbing when it happens. I tried to ask, I wanted to know about our pensions and the money that's owed to us for our vacations and stuff. You have to talk to your union because that'll all have to be negotiated.
You got to talk to your union. Go talk to your union rep about that. See, and the thing that's interesting here is that these people have it. They had it better than I had it. Like I said, I got let go with no notice of anything. And you know what they gave me as a severance? They gave me 2 weeks pay. That's it. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. They're giving these people at least 2 months. They told them they're going to pay them to the end of the year. They're getting paid to the end of the year. That's incredible. Most companies let you go and you got to figure shit out the next day. They gave them, they're paying, they're going to continue to pay them out, whatever they were making, their wages. They don't have to show up to work. They're going to continue to pay them until December the 28th, which is till the end of the year. That's more than most get. If we're being real, if we're being honest. And she said, in addition to that, you heard her say that, well, it's been slow in the company. It's been slow in the plant all month long, since June. So that should have let you know right then and there. You got to read the tea leaves. We have to understand how to read the tea leaves. You gotta pay attention to what's going around. If business is getting slow, if business is slow, and she said it's as slow as they had ever seen it. They had never seen it this slow. I would have been looking right then and there.
These years, and they're just not even a thank you.
Not even a thank you.
Yeah, now about 104 affected workers are in a union represented by Teamsters Local 1199. That's the union that's going to be representing these affected workers in contract negotiations with PepsiCo moving forward. Now, Fox 19 did reach out to this union for questions and comments about what bidding rights these affected workers may have. We're still waiting for those answers. For now, live in Arlington Heights, I'm Brenna Ordonez, Fox 19 Now.
See, I don't care what, I don't listen. A lot of y'all think that y'all managers are y'all friend. I don't care how cool they are. They're your manager. They're not your friend. They're a manager. They're not your friend. Your supervisor, as cool as you think they are still, at the end of the day, the company man, the company woman. They for the company. And it's the same thing with HR. A lot of y'all think that HR is here for you. No, they're not here for you. They're here for the business. They're here to protect the interests of the business. Newsflash, HR is not here for you. It's called human resources to make you feel like you can go in there and talk to them in that office, and when you shut the door, that everything y'all say is going to be close and confidential. That's not the fact. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. HR is not there for you. They are there to protect the interests of the business. That's what they hired them and brought them in for. They're a mediator on behalf of the business. And it's the same thing with these supervisors and managers that y'all so heavily believed in. You believe that you done built up relationships for 30 plus years, 20 plus years, right? And at the end of the day, they still a manager. And when they get that call or they get that email that they got to come let you go, guess what's going to happen? They're going to come let you go. Now, they may do it differently depending on the relationship that you have, right? But you still getting let go. You still got to go fend for yourself. You still got to go figure something else out. Your managers, your supervisors, they are not your friends. It's good to have somebody that's close, that has an ear to the ground, that's close, a little bit closer to the action of what's going on so that you can get a heads up before everybody else do. I'm just telling you what I know. You ain't got to do it. I know a lot of y'all be like, fuck everybody. I ain't got to be friends with nobody. I don't like nobody in here. I'm going to keep to myself. Cool. You have that right. But you might be out of the loop. Right? And so this is extending now. When this was released and when these employees were let go, what ended up happening was everybody said, well, they're unionized. So what's going to happen with the unions? The union should be able to step in because this is ludicrous. They just came in here and cut our jobs without any fair notice, right? And the union's like, you can't let that happen. What? But here's the thing, okay? I'm going to play this small clip before we get into what's going to happen with this lawsuit that has been brought up, because there's a lawsuit that was launched as a result of what happened here.
PepsiCo now faces a union lawsuit over the abrupt closure of its Southside plant. Teamsters Local 727 filing the lawsuit in federal court, claiming the company unlawfully shut down the facility by violating the WARN Act. Now, the plant at 51st and Low is in the back of the yards neighborhood, closed without warning last week. PepsiCo says it is complying with the WARN Act and that employees will be paid and benefits will continue for 60 days. Employees will not be required to work during that period.
So it was important for me to play that so that we all have an understanding of how that lawsuit is going to go. They're basically saying, no. Pepsi is saying, no. We are complying with the WARN notice. In other words, we have given fair notice. We have given fair warning to our employees. Yes, they have been let go. However, we are still paying them to the end of the year, which means that they are covering their asses from any lawsuits they may receive on behalf of the Teamsters because they let people go without warning. Yeah, we let you go without warning, but we are still providing you not only a paycheck until the end of the year, but we're also paying for your benefits, meaning your medical, to the end of the year. Again, that is better than most people get when they get fired. But let me tell you how much this is spreading. This is not just that particular plant. PepsiCo announces closure of 4 U.S. plants, eliminating 500 jobs. 500 jobs. Okay? PepsiCo, the world's second largest food and beverage business with a market capitalization of more than $200 billion, announced early Monday morning that the layoff of roughly 200 employees and the closing of its only Chicago area plant effective immediately. Just 3 days later, the company announced it was ending production at plants in Cincinnati, Ohio, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Atlanta, Georgia, at the end of December, taking an additional 300 jobs from those locations and leaving warehouse operations in place. A PepsiCo plant near Carlisle, Pennsylvania, will lose transport operations as well, but the number of jobs affected there has not yet been made public. Last April, the company shuttered a Danville, Illinois Quaker Oats plant, destroying 510 jobs in that small town after a salmonella contamination incident that required a product recall. The Danville plant also would have required investment to modernize the facility. So in other words, they said, we're not about to put any money into this plant. We consider it an L, and we're just going to go ahead and wipe them off the face of the map. PepsiCo's layoffs are part of a massive wave of job cuts over the last 2 years that has spread across industries. Thousands of workers have been laid off this year as companies look to increase profits by restructuring their labor force to cut costs and extract as much wealth per worker as possible. Listen, at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line. That's what I learned in corporate. It's all about the bottom line. It's not about personal relationships. It's not about how you feel. It's about the bottom line. Auto worker associates at plants had to find that out the hard way, that it's about the bottom line. Yes, y'all won this little battle. Y'all won the battle of getting raises. Y'all won the battle, right, of getting these incredible 30% raises on your paychecks. However, you're going to lose the word because we're about to let go thousands of you. While the company's statements point to changing consumer behavior, i.e. lower demand for its products, as a main cause of cuts, analysts also point to PepsiCo's raising prices on its commodities over many years. The company reported gross profits of $50.2 billion for the year ending September 30th, 2024, a 1.71% increase over 2023. The year before, PepsiCo annual gross profit was $49.6 billion, a more than 8% increase from 2022. Now, hearing that, you might say to yourself, well, if they're still making billions of dollars, billions, this is capital B, y'all. If they're still making billions of dollars year over year per capita, why in the world are they letting go associates? It seems like if you're still making billions of dollars, that you would still be able to take that L on the chin and still keep workers on site. But listen, it's all about bottom line. Everything comes back down to bottom line. And if those numbers are in the red, somebody is going to pay for that. It don't matter how much money we made. We want to keep making money. And in order to do that, companies like PepsiCo that are as large as they are, and Home Depot and all these big mega companies and corporations, they don't like to see losses at all. They don't like to see down numbers in the red at all. They hate it. They do not want to see it. And if you're a manager of a company or a VP, you don't want to see it either. Why? Because it means that your job is at risk. It's a trickle-down effect. Starting from the very top. So the VP got to step in and make some cuts. Got to figure out how to get this train back on the rails. Because to them, right, to the people that are above them, the higher ups, anytime they see red, it's looking like this thing is going off the rails a little bit. Hey, what's going on? Yo, VP, hey, conference call. I'm telling you what I know. This is how it goes. It's not about friends. Workers at the plant on the south side of Chicago last Monday reported arriving to lock gates, as well as delivery drivers unaware the plant was shut down permanently. Jesus Christ. The only indication was the increased security. Adding insult to injury, PepsiCo had police escort workers off the Chicago plant property. The company said in a statement workers would receive 60 days of severance pay. That's severance pay that you see to the end of December. PepsiCo also said the plant is in a 60-year-old building that had physical limitations. In response to PepsiCo's action, Teamsters Local 727 officials claimed that the decision to close the plant was in retaliation for a new contract with PepsiCo this summer. If you all recall, that new contract that they're talking about was a contract to, again, increase wages. So there may be some validity there. But these are the things that y'all have to take into consideration when you're advocating and you're talking about walking off the job and you're talking about striking. Y'all don't remember the Pepsi people striking over the summer? Y'all don't remember that? That happened before the auto industry thing happened. But this is what happens as a result of it. They say, okay, we're going to play ball for about a week, for about a month. We're going to play ball with y'all. We're going to give y'all the things that some of what y'all asked for. We're going to make it seem like everything is looking up. The sun is rising on y'all. Oh, but it's going to be a sunset. It's going to be a sunset. They do not take that lightly. There's almost certainly going to be retaliation. It just is what it is. A Teamsters official also stated PepsiCo was in violation of the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification WARN Act, as U.S. labor law that requires employers of more than 75 full-time workers to provide 60 days advance notice of plant closing and mass layoffs. Well, we just read how they're covering their ass about that. Listen, they're going to continue to pay these associates to the end of the year, December, and then that will be that. Come January, these people will be on unemployment and they will have to find a job somewhere else. Daniel and Lester, that you knew that was working in the packaging area, that you knew for the last 36 years, they gone. They got to go. They got to go find something else. Listen, it's not about your loyalty to them. They don't care about that. At the end of the day, thank you for coming. However, we got to do whatever the VP said do. We got to do whatever the company has decided. It's nothing personal. It's just business. At the beginning of this YouTube journey, at the end of my videos, I used to have a little clip at the end of the videos to say it's just business. You know why I had that clip there? Because I understand that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you work for, it doesn't matter how much tenure you have, and it doesn't matter how kind you've been to your fellow employees, to your fellow workers, to your fellow co-workers. It don't matter. It don't matter how many times you brought in cookies or donuts for the team, for the squad. At the end of the day, it's just business. You're better off treating them that way, treating them the same way that they treat you, as just another number. In other words, you need to do things in order to protect yourself. Have your savings account set. Have your emergency funds set. Have a backup plan set. Hell, you might need to have 2 or 3 other side hustles. I'm just telling you what it is. Yes, it's unfortunate that we are at this point, but we are no longer in the days to where you can go and your daddy could work one job and take care of the entire family and then retire with a pension plan afterwards after working 50 years for the plant. It's not going to work that way. Those days are over. It is done. Protect yourself, protect your assets, and protect your futures. I'll see you on the next one.